Last week, the Chinese sent a spy balloon over the US, and Dark Brandon shot it down. But did he act fast enough, and were we tough enough?
We showed them! We showed them all!
This is Not My Party. Brought to you by the Bulwark. Hysteria ensued when the cable news gods provided something more dramatic than your typical legislative fare.
Communist eye in the sky, that's what they're calling it.
If you've ever seen the movie Independence Day, it really reminded me of that.
Has our homeland been damaged by this balloon?
I have a fear of balloons.
If only they had the cherry on top, a boy on board.
Can't get it all.
This national nightmare came to a jingoistic ending when we blasted that little balloon bitch from the sky for all the world to see.
Go America.
You'd think this would be a rally around the flag moment for a divided nation. Nah.
Significant damage has been done by this.
This entire episode telegraphed weakness.
Why did it take so long for them to disclose this to the American public?
Very patriotic.
A quick recap of what happened. The Chinese have been flying these reconnaissance balloons around the world, pretending that they are monitoring the weather.
Oh, that's real creative.
Now remember, both countries already spy on each other a lot. They're these things called satellites. But this breach of our airspace was uniquely brazen. We spotted the balloon over the Aleutian Islands, west of Alaska, and allowed it to gently float through Canada and across the continental United States before taking care of it off the coast of South Carolina.
Wow, what kind of mileage does it get?
So might there be some fair criticism of the Biden administration's slow response here? Yeah, I mean, for instance, maybe they could have blown that thing up quicker. I'm open to that critique. Mitch McConnell and Obama Defense Secretary Leon Panetta argued as much, but I presume the Defense Department experts monitoring this thing were better suited to make that call than the amateur spycraft savants who propped up on social media demanding vigilante balloon strikes. So here's what we've learned from the government experts in the blob. The government claims they are able to block the balloon from gathering intel, either by jamming the sensors or by moving sensitive equipment. And a plugged-in Washington Post journalist argued that we actually gained intelligence on what they were up to through the balloon.
I mean, that would be nice.
From that point of view, it made sense to avoid blowing it up over the US, given the 7-mile debris radius that could have caused damage.
The metal equipment there is larger than a bus. When they did shoot it down, the debris field was about 7 miles.
Oh, that could have been messy.
Also, we learned that the Chinese have flown other balloons over the US before, including thrice during the Trump administration.
Fake news.
Even Fox News has acknowledged that those balloons went over Florida and Texas. Now, there is some difference. Apparently, those balloons didn't traverse the entire country. But if we listen to the Ivy League wannabe Rambo Republicans aiming their guns at the sky, should that have really mattered? Isn't 1 inch too much?
On this team, we fight for that inch.
Listen to how the most hawkish Republicans tried to spin this. Here's Tom Cotton.
What began as a spy balloon has become a trial balloon, testing President Biden's strength and resolve, and unfortunately, the president failed that test. The president was paralyzed for an entire week by a balloon.
Interesting way of looking at it.
And of course, there's the miniature keyboard general Marco Rubio, who hilariously went so far as to claim that the slow balloon response meant that the US is an empire in decline, and also that
If they're not going to do anything about a balloon over U.S. airspace, how are they going to come to the aid of Taiwan?
Guns. Lots of guns.
So the one big problem with this, as the interviewer points out, the balloon was shot from the sky. We smoked it. What are you talking about, Marco? The Taiwanese are worried about our resolve? The same country that is funding the Ukrainian ass-kicking of the Russians because we waited to let a balloon float over water before we dropped it?
I think not.
In a sane world, we'd be able to unite in our victory over the balloon overlord. And with cooler heads, debate how to best deal with China's spying going forward, whether it be overhead or on our TikTok. Alas, that ain't our world. This is.
Do you think that the CCP has so much on the Biden family, on Joe Biden, that he's just afraid?
Well, that's stupid.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week for more Not My Party. Peace. For more episodes of Not My Party, smash that subscribe button. And scan right here to subscribe on Snapchat, where you can get the episodes first and all the Not My Party content you desire.